What ruins a TV series for you? Reboots written by people who don't understand the characters. Two things. If they jump the shark, and the plot lines just get so fucking ridiculous that even for fiction you cannot suspend disbelief. When they just milk the fuck out of it and run it into the ground with prequels, sequels, and offshoots. It's not the idea of making more series to build a universe, it's that most of the shows tend to suffer because the creative staff is being pulled in so many directions. Looking at you. Sons of Anarchy, Kurt Sutter, and Yellowstone, Taylor Sheridan. Characters that do not make realistic decisions. And when there are no real consequences for characters who make bad decisions. The super smart kid that talks like an adult, thing that so many horrible sitcoms do. When the story gets too outrageous. Like I watched a show about LAPD cops and they ended up going to Mexico to take down a drug lord. I'm like WHAAA. Why would the LAPD do that? Lol. Characters that don't grow or learn anything from their experiences. Forced romances and drama from those romances. Premature cancellation. Showing a rape scene in detail. 9/10 times it's completely unnecessary. Netflix cancelling it out of nowhere usually. Will they? Won't they? Garbage. Cut the bullshit and ask 'em out. When people keep dying and then coming back to life. Character or exhibits absolutely reprehensible behavior towards character B. And then they both end up apologizing to each other even though character A was the only one who did anything wrong? Drama based solely on miscommunication. Or characters that are overly jealous but it's painted as endearing. The writers think it's more entertaining to have their main cast act like a bunch of first graders. When all the characters are in their 20s and 30s. But it's just annoying. Bad writing. Serialitis. Where characters don't get to have arcs but become types of themselves because the cancellation renewal cycle prevents writing a story with a beginning, middle, and end. IRL modern politics. I'm not talking about having an all-woman military strike force team with some being POC and LGBTQ+. That stuff I'm fine with. I'm talking about referencing real politicians in a fake fantasy world. Sir, the aliens have invaded Kansas. Quote, my God. Get me President Biden on the phone right now. Quote, I want fictitious people in this made-up situation. Give me President Jacobson or Chief of Staff Browning. Let me have my escapism. Be complete escapism. Don't make me feel it's grounded in reality. Bringing current events into the writing. I'm all for touching on sensitive topics but not in real time. I want television as an escape, not an extension of life. For example, I absolutely loved A Million Little Things. But they brought COVID into the storyline. They brought a George Floyd storyline in with all the protests. They tried to fit in everything going on. Although those storylines are important, it's emotionally exhausting for it to be on repeat all day long. Sometimes you just need an escape from reality. Terrible acting. Main character getting pregnant. Season 4 usually. Forced time skips which doesn't let you know what happened within that time skip. A very special episode. In sci-fi shows where they are going to do something big and one guy has to explain it to the rest of the group as if they're wall-lickingly stupid. Time travel and or alternate universes in order to bring a character back to life. There are no consequences anymore. Unrealistic dialogue. When they add another child character because the other child characters got to teenage or adulthood, but the show needs a child character since that was the premise of the first couple of seasons of the show. I know these are old shows but different strokes. The Partridge Family and Family Ties comes to mind. A new season, and after it another new season, and so on until they completely ruin the series. Never having any closure. I get that they're made so the producers can make money, but it's frustrating that every season generally ends on a cliffhanger or with some big reveal in an effort to drum up support so the network will renew them for another season. Eventually. Inevitably. They aren't, and so the series just ends right there. In the middle of an ongoing plot with no idea what happens to the characters. Some actually come to an end and get wrapped up nicely, but they are few and far between. Cringy, unrealistic dialogue that tries too hard to be current in the lingo it has the characters use or what social issues the characters discuss. Especially Gen Z characters that are basically caricatures of what teens actually talk like about. Ginny and Georgia does this so much. Watched 2 episodes and had to stop. When the child-free character suddenly decides to have a child because it would increase the ratings. A shitty ending or final season Game of Thrones. I'm also looking at You Lost. All the dark scenes. So dark that I can't see what the hell is going on.